My name's Peter Byram. I'm an audiologist. I started as an NHS audiologist. The reason for that was that there were several people in my family had hearing aids, and my mother was forever taking them down to the local department to have their hearing aids looked at. I went and did a week's work experience there and really enjoyed myself. I'm also a hearing aid user, so that really drives my passion to get things right for people and make sure that when I'm assessing people for hearing aids and fitting them, I'm always trying to get the best quality and make sure things are done right first time. I run a clinic supported by my team at the private hospital in Sheffield. Most of it is at Thornbury, although I do some work at Claremont and at the Fitzwilliam in Peterborough as well. I'm really well supported by the team at Thornbury, and I see clients obviously locally from Sheffield but also from a wider area, so South Yorkshire, some a little bit further out than that, and one or two international clients who have relatives in Sheffield and who've struggled to find what they want locally. When they're visiting, they come and see me and we make sure that everything's running well with their hearing aids. So it's quite a big practice. I do see quite a lot of hearing aid clients, and I'm passionate about getting the quality right. I have my own hearing aids. I know what it's like having a hearing loss. I know how difficult it is in those noisy environments when you're trying to have a conversation. It's absolutely essential for me to make sure that I'm doing as well as I possibly can to make sure that our clients have the best possible experience. Occasionally you'll get someone coming in who's a little bit anxious about being there, perhaps they're a little bit dry, that maybe they've been persuaded to come by a relative and they're not really feeling relaxed or happy or even smiley in clinic with you. And I think my challenge, I love to get people to a place where they can feel relaxed enough to just let go and smile and join in the conversation. A normal day in a clinic for me is quite varied. I see some medico-legal clients. Some of those are just for hearing tests to see what their hearing loss is like. Some others I see to write a report on for their needs for hearing aids and cost that up for the court. I also support the ear, nose and throat clinics that run privately in the hospital, and I also see quite a few tinnitus patients because that's my speciality and what I looked into for my MSc at Leeds University. Most of my work is wax removals and hearing aid assessment and fitting. It's really important to me that when I'm doing my work I get really good assessments and I find out what people need, and that when they are fitted it's a quality fit and it's right first time, and that they are happy and I'm happy with the result. What I love about my job is that I meet a huge range of different people, from musicians to worm farmers and high-level sports people. The really nice thing is that nowadays we've got a lot of really good technology that you can impress them with and show them how it's going to change their lives. You've got to remember that when I started off, I was adjusting hearing aids with screwdrivers, so to be able to use a computer now is superb. And the look on someone's face when you introduce them to Otoscan and they can see the picture being built up on screen in front of them is just fantastic. One of the concerns that clients share with me when they first come in is that often they don't feel like they have a hearing loss, or maybe there is a little one there but it's nowhere near as bad as their family are saying that it is. And they've been chivied along and they don't think a hearing aid will be necessary, and it's not that bad and I can hear you. And that's something that you have to explain and say, well, why that might be the case, that maybe their low frequency hearing might be working reasonably well but their high frequency may not be, and that their hearing loss has been a gradual and imperceptible change, so that it's just not noticed by them at all. Another concern that people have is that where they feel there might be hearing loss and they are struggling, that we might not be able to help them. They want to live life to the full and they're struggling at the present time, and it's about explaining to them how hearing aids can make a difference and how we can make a really nice mould to fit their ears with the Otoscan, and that generally, although we can't make it 100% better, we can make a real big difference to their lives, and that's really important, because you've got to be able to give a little bit of hope to people but without giving them 100% expectations. So it's just giving that measured advice, and most of the time we can make a huge difference to people's lives. So marketing is a key component of any business, and I use a range of different strategies to sell my service and the technology that I use to the end user. I may use newspaper adverts, upmarket magazines, I use Facebook, I use Google Ads, and I also go on the radio every couple of months, BBC Radio Sheffield, and do a free slot for them, ask the audiologist questions. And all this, it just helps me promote my service, the technology that I use, and obviously Otoscan is a key part of this, and quite exciting. A couple of reasons for buying Otoscan. One is it's really good technology. I wanted to be at the forefront and a high quality clinic and be able to provide the latest equipment for people to see and to use. This is a real improvement in how we do things. It speeds things up, it gives better results. The other reason for buying it is that it's an advert for my business. We did a Facebook campaign, we had a space in a large shopping centre. The Facebook campaign got us over 500 to 600 people who are interested in that. I did also some at some local golf clubs, and the useful thing about Facebook is you can book appointments in. So we had full appointment lists for both days where people would come in to have a look at the scanner and see how it worked and how it might help them, and have some free advice on hearing loss and hearing aids. As a result of the open days and the events, the Otoscan has certainly paid for itself in more ways than one. So it's brought business in, but it's also boosted my brand name. My brand name isn't just known in Sheffield, but in the broader area as well, and probably nationally through the people sharing on Facebook that they've seen this new technology and they're really delighted and think it's a wonderful thing. A couple of patients that I can share with you. One of them has posted onto Trustpilot, so you can look that up. He's been having hearing aids for 25 years. He's had moulds for 25 years. I've seen him for probably the past 10 years in the NHS and after I'd left privately. He's always, struggled to get a reasonable fit with his moulds, and he's always asked me to do them because he knows that I will always try and get them right. But the most recent ones we did with the Otoscan, he came back to me and he said, "These are the best moulds I've ever had in my life. They're the most comfortable, they fit well, there's no feedback." And he's a power user, so he knows hearing aids inside out, and if he's happy, then I know pretty much everyone's going to be happy. The other one is my mother. She had some old moulds on receiver wires, and I recently just scanned her ears and tried with some new ones. The retention is better, she's finding the sound quality better, and the comfort is better, and she's really delighted with them. She says it's a complete difference. The Otoscan technology is really easy to use. Once you've performed your scan, all you need to do is use the AutoCloud, which is an encrypted server, to send the information to the manufacturer. It really is as simple as putting the details in of the mould or the hearing aid you require, pressing save and send, and it's done. The moulds that I made for my mother, I sent them and they were with me within 3 days. One or two clinicians might be a bit worried about putting a probe in the ear, but it's really very safe because you can see as you insert the probe into the ear, you can see the eardrum, and what's really good is that you always get a consistent scan just past the second bend. Whenever you take the mould out previously, you'd be looking at it and examining it and thinking, oh, have I got this right or not? With the Otoscan, you can tell straight away that you've got it there, it's done, and it's at the right depth. No problem at all. Otoscan is also useful for people who need custom hearing aids or custom fit moulds, and for noise protection, for swim protection, even for if your partner snores, you can have sleep protection. Am I happy with Otoscan? Absolutely. It's well worth the investment. My clients are happy, I'm happy, and I'd recommend it to anyone.